Success I make with enemy scared. Circle small but we link tall. Give thanks and praise to the mystic laws of the universe and its protective functions and forces in which guide our thoughts and our path in all ways that are lawful, correct, and positive. We do give thanks and praise. Notice on demand for removal. We have the Commonwealth versus Campbell, Jaguar. I don't know the energy no 100 in terms of because sometimes But when you say the Commonwealth, the Commonwealth is not a living man or woman, it's not a living soul. The Commonwealth is a thing. And as such, when you say the Campbell Joel Jaguar or Joel Jaguar Campbell or Joel Campbell or anything at all in writing, whether it's in upper or lowercase, it is considered a fiction. It can never be the true and living man because it cannot interface or interact with the true and living man according to how their contract is. It's right in front of our faces, but again, Now we say the case number is 2588 and it's a CR, meaning criminal. This is how them initiate them public slavery. That a police officer, Farrell, Duce, does see a man on the road, and then because him have on him own private plates and his own private automobile going about his business, she presume that he's a slave because that's a slave colony. That whole area, their United States of American jurisdiction is a commercial slave area. And it's separate and distinct from the landmass, America, continentally. So the ones that were not up on this level now go get it. We say, well, we're crazy and talk nonsense. However, we have to express our side of this kind of information. So the moment you say Joel Jaguar or anybody at all against it, it's like when them say the government of Jamaica against Lincoln O'Neill Dallas. It's still fiction. It's all paper war. And again, we say the case number. The case number is by identify the case itself because the case number is separate and distinct from the docket number. Now, the court is Nantucket, and their number is 088. And we have the police department where we have to go bring a claim against. And we have the police officer, Farrell Duce, who is the initiator. We have to go bring a claim against. So all of these things we try to avoid. Now we said notice and demand for removal. And in this thing, we said boy to the federal court, because it's in the state court. And it's pursuant to the public law of June 25, 1948. Chapter 646, 62, statutes at large, 938. And you can locate this information where it's codified at Title 28. USC 1443 and Title 28. USC, US Code, Section 1441. Now, we said to the criminal complaint issued on the 21st of February 2025. Now you see the docket number. The docket number said 2488 AC. It doesn't say criminal right here. It's a AC with these numbers at the end. Now AC would be the abbreviation for Associated or Associate Civil Court. So you have two things go on. You have them try initiate a criminal conviction, and them also initiate some kind of civil lawsuit against the very same estate. So them have to criminalize the man in order to gain that conviction, and then fleece his estate and say it's legal, and then them can put this man in jail or put him on a banana boat or anything like that. This is why we kind of share with information, so at least we can express a little clarity as we learn and push forward. Now we said the public law of June 25, 1948, chapter 646, statute at large 62, stats 938. It said any of the following civil action or criminal prosecution commence in a state court, just like Nantucket, may be removed by the defendant, Joel Jaguar, to the District Court of the United States. That's the one right up the block, right up the hallway, Joel Jaguar. That's the District Court area. For the district and division embracing the place wherein it is pending. Now, Joel Jaguar have a location on the island there. When I'm going to court, you have the Supreme Court or the Superior Court, depending on them terminologies around there. Where that's a Joel Jaguar for really I work from. But again, I mean I take all responsibility, all right of mine. So I'm there on the island, I'm supposed to know what going over there. Even though I'm there on the island, it should be my responsibility to live off this island and go around there to find the location when necessary and put in the work. However, it's never too late for a shower of rain when we're there in a desert, so we give thanks. So we learn and gain the clarity and push forward. This is why we have said we're going to remove ourselves from the location, the Jaguar. And we have them documented what we have put together. We have to express it that way, and you have to move. You're not going to go into the bullshit area. You have to go down to the Superior Court Clerk area, and that's where you have to work from. And my good brethren, when you're going down there, you have to request for your document to be filed upon the court. File, meaning if you have a stamp say file. You understand? And if you have the initial with the date stamp, but if you're up on top of the court, we're going to move away from that. Why? As we go along, we express these things. Again, you don't know it going because the advocacy have the right to be free. Some people mistake it the thing said right to travel, which is a civil activity, or the right or freedom of movement. Freedom of movement on the island is constitutionally guaranteed and secured. And it's the same thing. The right to travel on the mainland is constitutionally guaranteed and secured by their constitution, two separate jurisdictions. All of them are follow federal rules and regulation. All of them are follow state rules and regulation. Some of them make up them own bar member rules and regulation and impose it upon the people when I'm aware of these things. I am of the view that there is no other man who can give no other man talk without contract. In other words, they can't impose no kind of authority nowhere at all without some kind of consensual agreement. Whenever you're going to impose any kind of authority without consent, it's called slavery. And this is what I have been expressing out here. But it go unbeknownst to most. One's not have no interest, we're not flash no monetary, nothing at all here. We are dealing with a truth where most people cannot even grasp, cannot conceive, cannot even, it's just lost to them. But this truth is a truth that naturally shall unfold itself. Really. And the truth is that because of the word wizardry and the silent deception and inducement to participate in commercial fraud by way of coercion by these public entities and deception, then we find ourselves in a situation where we constantly have to go through this thing until one day something snaps, and yeah, it is a catastrophe. We know a public slavery. We know. Yeah, man, but what them want to do is people with them legality and them procedural nonsense. Them no want to stand up on law where say you're trespass if you don't have no contract. This is why I say when guys are trespass and we know them not have no contract, we know them have to carry through this nonsense. Man, not for bother play a game, man, feel blow boy head off, blow girl head off, rolling with set precedent. Yeah, or it's not gonna stop. So it going to the earth. Now we have this little cross-dressing funny face guy named Kevin J. Pennerty. When I pull up Joel Jaguar Docket information, I see where he is there going with a whole lot of things. This is why I need a fair said Joel Jaguar, you need to focus. You have so much different things going on. You have to identify what is important and focus right there. And whatever else is out there, you just take your time with it. Because the primary objective is not resolved, then everything and anything else is irrelevant. So you'll be gone. And all of who will look up to you, all of who will suck from you, all of who will depend on you, it's over. So we have to focus. Yeah, man. And a me out there, man. And a me need us to put in the work what most people cannot see. And most people will never be able to appreciate. They'll never appreciate it. Because I tell them, I say, from out here, a lot of little things we do. And I tell them about the people. And I tell them how people approach you. They never come and say, hey, this is what my situation is. And let us start from there because this is what I want. They don't do that. They will come with all different other things. And when you have to fight there, and you fight there, and you fight there, then all kind of other things keep coming up. And I don't think I complicate the situation. And then when you are in the situation, it is incumbent on not even your attorney you can depend on. If you not do the work to direct the attorney accordingly, you get nowhere. You ever get abused. Now when you have private counsel, like I'm on like my interest is just for the client where they right in front. Anything and everything for the client. That's why you see my advocacy is so specific when they even talk about Nantucket Island and Joel Jaguar. And now we can advocate for everybody. As if we know these people are then in the capacity where we are structured. Joel Jaguar associate himself with the society where I deal with. Joel Jaguar can present a document that he has renounced from the man-made state called Jamaica and the man-made country called the United States and all of its citizenry. Meaning, we are not citizen of Jamaica. We are not citizen of the Commonwealth. We are not citizen of the United States. We are non-citizen, non-political. We are sovereign. Babylon have these kind of designation on their database or within their construction. Why? Because Babylon are deal with slavery. Babylon are presumed they are God. So you're not gonna find nothing like this. This is why I say our things separate and this thing. We just have to learn how to navigate through these people deceptive, court areas and court proceedings. We are dealing with substance. So it's only the substantive laws or rules can apply to us. So when them carry in the civil area where them are deal with the negotiable instruments, not the man or woman, it's the negotiable instrument that can deal with. Because the legal entity is a corporation. Why? Because a corporation can only interact and interface with other corporations. And the government of Jamaica is a corporation. I present documents from a show a long time ago where the government of Jamaica is listed as debtor out there on the stock market. It's no different from the United States. No different. So we will create separation of entity, can't be held liable when we have a legal entity, a legal person who is operating as a surety. And that surety is in fact the collateral asset where it alone can do business out there. The living man and woman can only direct those business affairs. But Babylon usurp that position, making themselves beneficiaries over your estate in trust. Babylon do that, but them do it by trickery and deception. They can only do it when them have your consent, when them have your present an unsecured endorsement. This is how Babylon, create them deception. So the moment you sign, you like some dumb people, so them a beneficiary. So them sign as beneficiary and them can't send a benefit to nothing. Because Babylon a direct them. When them sign, Babylon just rearrange whoever the underwriter is, usually the court clerks, like this guy, Farrell. These guys are some specialists. You understand me? That I try ask Jaguar, who is this judge? And when me ask Warrior I know the man, well, he never remember these things. And, you know, salute Joel Jaguar. And when we are looking at the docket, and me I say, nah man, something not right here, some man. In other words, Joel Jaguar did the animal present himself, because he have no attorney, he just work with I as private counsel. But what these guys do, because Joel Jack wanna have the knowledge per se of the legal process. Them withhold all disclosure. Just the other day them a try present Joel Jaguar with disclosure where as gonna sit on the tapes then Joel Jaguar just ignore all of that because all of what them are doing nonsense. Joel Jaguar expressed publicly said him now wish to participate in the unlawful conduct which it is now Joel Jaguar but just give them a notification for say FR for want this thing removed and them are gonna place the documents in the next area and we start from there. Round Dessa now, you deal with substance. Round Dessa now, you know, you can play the silly game where Donald P. Art and his co-earths are played. However, we now do these things without clarity and we not hide, we not keep nobody secret. I personally not interested in that. Now again, them say any person who is denied or cannot enforce in the courts, such as Nantucket courts, of such state where Massachusetts is, a right under any law providing for equal rights or equal civil rights. Yes, listen, we are talking about fundamental rights, and if it's in the United States, we're not interested in them civil rights. This is what I'm going to give and a take. We are talking about the liberties where the Constitution secured. And because we're not citizens, it, you know, we're not under no obligation to absolutely no one out there, period. But we have set them precedent. And we have set it loud in our own way. Now, them say for any act under color of authority, which is where the civil area is, color of authority, derived from any law providing for equal rights or for refusing to do any act on the ground that it would be inconsistent with such law. What can be inconsistent with it? Is when they must say any law that is inconsistent or contrary to the supreme law of the land is void. That's it. Now it's a breach of fiduciary trust obligation, denial of the fundamental rights and freedoms or civil liberties under arbitrary corporate policy and color of authority, pursuant to federal rules codified at Title 18, USC 242, Title 18, USC 243, Title 42, USC Section 1983. All of these things are things where ones and ones chant out there, you know. Now I'm going to go on to say why we can find ourselves in this situation when we are West Indian is because Babylon come here with them colonization and create imaginary borders, what they call jurisdiction. And each jurisdiction have its own specific citizenry and or non-citizenry. So it's a diversity of citizenship and jurisdiction. A diversity of citizenship refers to when there is no common state citizenship between the plaintiff and the defendant in a suit. Diversity jurisdiction refers to one way a federal court can obtain subject matter jurisdiction over a given case. The other method being federal question jurisdiction. Now, I'm going to touch on the diversity of citizenship. I think I touched on them thing the other day. We can talk about the removal. As me I said, the energy stay away. Now like me I tell you, rather talk in privately and I work on them document there and get it online out there. So Joel Jaguar can do him thing. But basically they bring up the docket number and the docket information where, as me and Joel are reason, me I said, Joel Jaguar, remember this girl, Officer Farrell Duce, badge number 29923. She had the initiator, so she gave a citation. From the citation, Donald P. gave 2 magisterial notice to appear, and from that magisterial notice, February 21, 2025, criminal complaint was issued. Them say originating court, Nantucket District Court. Them say case number 2488 AC, meaning Associated Civil Court. Even though them have it on the face as a criminal. So the docket is something different. And the docket number is 2488 AC 0000436. Receiving court, business them are doing a Nantucket District Court. Now, on the very same day, them say complaint issued with a summons. And then statement of facts file. Hold on. Joel Jaguar there, I don't think I dropped the invite from there. Really the invite. I drop in the invite Jaguar if I chose there, I can pass through and sit in and yeah. Yeah man, the very same February 21, this Donald P. Arthur initiate all of these things, and it's a statement of fact file. I don't know where it file, because Joel Jaguar have a statement of fact when can look at, and them say this February 27th, that was 6 days after the statement of fact file, them say criminal summons returned to the court. Delivered a copy of that criminal summons personally to the defendant, that would be Joel Jaguar. And this is all on February 27, 2025. Now, it goes on to say, March 24, 2025, event resulted. Arraignment scheduled on March 24, 2025 at 9 a.m. has been held. Now it's a personal recognizance release, and then it's the Honorable Kevin J. Finnerty presiding. So this is the brethren where you see the picked up on the little brethren there. I don't know him, so I don't want to tear him up. I just know so the basic research, I'm going to look for him. I'm some specialist. So then bring him in, because Joel Jaguar did put some information on the court where I address the birth certificate. Now, the very same March 24, 2025, them said defendant. I don't know, again, I don't know where the personal recognizance release come from. I don't know what that is all about. But, you know, we'll figure it out. And again, Joel can explain, because we have to remember some of these things. Now, defendant arraigned before court advised of rights to counsel. These are the same March 24. Them said them advised Joel Jaguar all of these things. Listen, I'm on the island here, so you say this is a paperwork, the docket number is a paperwork they must send to the federal bonding company, and this is where them have on them record. Whether them actually perform these things or not, it no matter. This is where them have on them record. So when you not have no record to stand up to these things, then this is what go out there, and this is where them gain all kind of conviction and prosecution in them inquisition for decimate you, decimate your estate, and totally steal your inheritance, steal your birthright, steal your heritage, just take it from you because of deception. Now, the very same March 24th, 2025. Them said defendant warned pursuant to alien status. And them have a code where when we look up the code, that's the code where I tell you about Section 29D, conviction upon plea of guilty or no contest or admission, any admission to sufficient facts, motion to vacate. Now, I must say the court shall not accept a plea of guilty, a plea of no contest, a plea or an admission of sufficient facts in any criminal proceeding unless the court advise such defendant in the following. Now listen carefully. When them say unless the court advise, you have to give notice. That's their other way of saying the court give notice. So the docket number are expressed clearly, so them give Joel Jaguar these notice. However, I'm quite sure Joel Jaguar said he never sit down with none of them and get this discussion. Now, them said them have to advise him this way. If you are not a citizen of the United States, which Joel Jaguar is not, them say you are hereby advised that the acceptance by this court of your plea of guilty, plea of no contest, or admission to sufficient fact may have consequences of deportation. Remember, once you're not a citizen in the United States, what is the United States? That's the man-made fictional area where they have a claim jurisdiction. So once you are West Indian and you're there on the land, these nonsense not apply to you because you're going to know the distinction. You're going to know says just the birth certificate them can talk to, them can interact with. So you always have that birth certificate ready as surety for substitute whatever them are trying to put on you, and that surety protect you. That's what it is there for. Babylon now why you see it that way. When you enslave, you can't see it that way. And then Babylon carrying them fictional court area, those inferior area where them not have no standards, no morals, no value, no class, no taste, no nothing at all. Them just do them own thing. You understand? This is why we have to demand removal and get away from that slave nonsense, that slave area, and move forward. So all of these kind of information will go unbeknownst to most people out there on the island. This is why the moment them grab you in a court, that's tell any light on you. And because you're afraid and want and feel like you want this over with, you plead guilty, then them release you from the nonsense threat, or you're driving without license, then release you from that, and then you get an immigration federal hold on you because you admit to guilt and then convict you as such. You understand? And why them gonna get away with that? Because them give you notification and you went ahead and you agreed to that nonsense even when you don't know it. This is how Babylon operate behind the scenes. This is how Babylon do them business behind the scenes. It's all illicit. Yeah, man, because you know full disclosure. They not teach these things inside the school. You understand? And we are no attorneys at law. We never go into them thing to learn the legal process. We don't have no interest. We are stand up on law. So our work unique. This is what I'm going to do to Joel Jaguar out there. So by them giving him that notice on March 24th, where he never get the notice from Judge Finnerty, this guy, Kevin J. Finnerty. Finnerty. I wonder if them call him Finnerty. Finnerty. You know them fast talking foreign people. Now, that very same day, because Joel Jaguar chose not to consent to nothing at all, them said a plea of not guilty and guilty entered on all charges. So you see, if this If Joel Jaguar did make any error and talk about, okay, I'm guilty because of this and that, they get mashed up. The very same day, I want to see how much things happen on that day, and I'm quite sure my brethren never aware of it, because me and him talk, and you know what I mean? We have to go back in our memory box. Now, the very same March 24th, 2025, them said bail revocation warning 276-58 given to the defendant. Bail, what bail? What go on? I don't know about the arrest. I don't know about the personal recognizance. Them things happen way up in a May the other day. So these are the things where we are talking about. And me upon the island and my responsibility for have every kind of information where I come out of the court. And this is why I man stipulate the recording so I man can get a view of what go on out there and gauge the energy of what go on. Because I feel work from this office. And I tell us that them people are going to choose to railroad you. Naturally, because it's a lot of money at stake. This thing is over 75,000 US dollars in value. You understand? Over 75. Really, and the same thing apply on this island. But it go unbeknownst to most people. So there's a lot of things where, you know, I kid you not. Salute Joel Jaguar, see you there. Anna me king.
Put me
Anna
king,
me king.
second power.
What go on out there?
Nothing much, me king. Just here I go over the documents them and I match them up. And in regards to notice in terms of all of these consequence, if I had agree to any charges. Yeah, me king, it's the first I'm hearing any of that. In fact, on that day, me king, I had a document or a small script where I invoke their oath of office, reserve my rights, and made an order for the dismissal with prejudice of the case. And when they had continued with their unlawful proceeding, and I realized that whatever I had said would not put an end to it or even pause it. That's when I decided that it's not necessary for me to be there. That's when I exit the court. So upon that, this is when I believe that they took that opportunity to add all sort of lies. Because if I wasn't there and they're saying that they have given me notice of such, yeah, I have that right to say it's a lie. It is all lies.
And you have
So
a documentary evidence that you was in fact at the court. This is why we always know I say we need the recordings, right?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, on the screen, we have this information where when you type in just the case number, the criminal case number, this are the information will come up. And it has said party information, Campbell, Joel Jaguar defendant, alias, party attorney, that I guess your own attorney. Now them say party charge information, Joel Campbell defendant, charge one. This are them so-called slave code 90 slash 10 slash A hyphen 2. And them say it's a misdemeanor. When me I show Joel Jaguar them thing, I'm shocked. Just like how I was shocked. Then I said misdemeanor 100 days or less incarceration, unlicensed operation. Salute, Moria. But then I live right now as we speak. Man, I forgot to touch forward with you. All is well with the man. All right then, my lord. That's all it is. All right? Salute, my king. Jump now live if you're free up, man. Or later you can catch up, but... All right then, my lord. Now say a word. Do the thing then. I know me king. Yeah, man. Give thanks. Charge one, what I must say, 100 days or less incarceration for unlicensed operation of motor vehicle. You never even know them thing. And they must say count 2 unlicensed operation of motor vehicle, 100 days or less incarceration, amended charge, jurisdiction, Nantucket, date 11/15/2024, that's November 15, 2024. This is when this police officer, Farrell Duce, badge number 923, this is when she pull you over that night, right? And give you the citation and initiate all of this. However, you got through them thing here before, probably on 2 or 3 occasions before, where the charges, the case was dismissed on the recommendation of the Commonwealth. And you got have documentation can show these things, but they keep coming back. Now, why them keep coming back is because them not dismiss it with prejudice to you. Them dismiss it without prejudice. So anytime them have an opportunity to persecute you, them just do it and call it legality. Now, we're going to move with the case from there, so it's imperative. Charge 2 on this thing here, say misdemeanor, hear it again. Another 100 days or less for registration suspended. Joel Jaguar never registered, nothing at all. You understand? And them say count, and them go down and break it down for the people and more than 100 days. So you say a real public slavery, you know. You rascal, no kill no man, no shoot no man, no use a car and destroy no property. But these pussy holders want an excuse. That's why I say, if you not prepare for blow these blood clot people head off, you better stop this nonsense. Just be a slave. Me not play that game here. Me rather hunt them slave catcher here and desecrate them home. That myself. Look at what it is. And them have them thing here written and this bullshit and a law. Where in the Constitution it make no provision for this thing? It's no law, nowhere on the United States over there. This is where some little private people play a game. That's why I say is when them header get blown off, them thing you go rearrange and change, brawling out there. What kind of game this them a play? And when you not astute enough to go look to see what's going on, you will not know these things. You not gonna know. Guys, me never go look, me not know them thing here. I'm telling you, say my work unique and me have to work from this office. Charge 3 misdemeanor, more than 100 days in caution for motor vehicle and you not kill nobody. Are you crazy? I better you kill people then, my lord. I better you blow up boy face off. You get locked up for what? Them thing I'm not talk about. So when I say man advocate for freedom, man not normal. When I say man put in these kind of work, it's unheard of. When I hear me say, boy, I mean, a man would just take a paper bag and full it of water and carry it in a court. And when the court clerk get that paper bag, as him touch it, all the water drop out of the paper bag. And him wonder how me carry the water in the paper bag. Literally a miracle I create out there. I'm gonna miss it every time. But I'm gonna play games with the energy. And this is the problem. This is the problem. We have to stay focused. We can't play a game. We have to just stay focused. We have to stay focused. Because them people have their own plan. and them plan do not include we. I go down to March 24th when them say release on personal recognizance. So me no know if Joel Jaguar have a documentation where him sign for personal recognizance release on the 3rd, 24th, 2025, which would be March 24th, 2025. So Jaguar, you have to go look for that release on personal recognizance where you sign, because if there is no such thing and you wanna get a document there, we don't know what go on. Now, the next month, which is April 22nd, them said event resulted in pre-trial hearing scheduled on that said day. Hear what I'm saying? Has been them said held defendant default. I guess Joel Jaguar never appeared. Them said failed to appear. And who was the judge? Honorable M. Sullivan. James M. Sullivan was the presiding judge in April. Joel Jaguar, is this where you talk, where you say you walk out and them I try to tell you say you wasn't there in the court, but you have a document where date stamp said you're there in the court, don't it?
You're speaking of the 22nd, right?
Yeah, 4/22/2025. That would be April 22nd, 2025.
Yeah, that is the day they said I had missed court. Yeah, but I wasn't given any notification of the court.
Hold on. So you actually missed the court date?
Yeah, because I wasn't aware of it. I wasn't given any notification.
Okay, now this is what me I said to you, my lord, and we express them thing privately. You know, wait on these people. When you go to court, sometimes you go right at the clerk office, just like when you place your document and you ask for information. Sometimes they're not ready. So you wait 3 days and then you go back. And you make sure you get the information, because are you I deal with your case. So you have to do these things. You know, sit down and wait. You know them a plan for you. You know them a railroad you. This is why I'm say there have to be focus. Even when me and you make discussion, there have to go back and look on some information or me share so you can get the understanding. Even when you go talk back to me, you can question me on anything where you need clarity. You have to put in that work. Now, this is a trick what I'm use now to try. That's why I said I'm going to try the deport you in a warrior. Because in a March, then give the defendant one person to alien status. Remember, you are not a citizen of any man-made state or a citizen of any man-made country. Hence, them are going to call you alien because them do not want to recognize your sovereign capacity as West Indian, meaning you're original in your land. All of these people will work for the state or the federal agency, whatever them are call them country. Them are work on behalf of the colonization, on behalf of this foreign crown, and the colonization is the legal standards used as rules and regulation that is imposed. Babylon and then clarity I may bring forward warriors. But now come and play the game like me some kind of cross-dressing attorney. Me say, make we say what we have, because this is why I say we can't approach the thing without knowledge. You see, because Joel Jaguar, you have to be my eyes out there, my ears out there, because you are doing it. You have to be able to can know, say, all right, this is what you do already. Now, you see how them are come, them now can deal with you, them are deal with the bird entity. You know, if you get, belligerent, none at all. You're not going to be adversarial, none at all. Anything them sodomite, if them want to accuse you of 15 murder, they can accuse you of that. All you have to say is, listen, I can agree to anything where you present upon validated claim. Once you can validate that claim, let's go. You can't make them make any accusation without them approve it. without them a very good. Number one, them are for credible for bringing an accusation. And Farrell Duce is not credible because obviously your docket number clearly has a Commonwealth, not Farrell Duce, not the Nantucket Police Department, because we got through those things. It has a Commonwealth versus Campbell, Joel, Jaguar. Now, the Commonwealth cannot speak for itself. Hence, we can assume or presume that the Commonwealth is a fictional entity, a fictional caricature, a fictional character. How can a fiction interact with a living man? Hence, we have to also presume so that Joel Campbell, that is listed out there, is also a fictional character, a fictional caricature. It's not I, it can't represent I. It can't represent Joel Jaguar. These things are clarity. Now, on their paper, it are going to say I you that. Them are going to say them do all of these things. Now, when them get a default in April 24, 22, 2025, them say event resulted default removal. What was the default? The default was when them said you wasn't in court or you failed to appear. This was because you challenged the judge, James Sullivan, and at the first, yeah, I see James Sullivan when he get that challenge there. So I'm kind of jumping on himself and say, you know, this is when he asks him, is this the law? And he must say, no, it's just a suggestion. Right there at your first taste of power, Joel Jaguar. You remember that situation?
Yes, my king, hold it right there. In fact, that was what's his name?
Fennerty,
Kevin. Yes,
Kevin.
I.
Oh, so
This
that,
is
listen,
this is why him place
stop,
all those unlawful things on my thing, my king.
warrior, warrior, stop. This is the problem I keep having. I am at April 22nd, 2025. Listen carefully. Event resulted. Partial hearing scheduled for that date. Listen again. Defendant defaulted. Failure to appear. Honorable James M. Sullivan presiding. Again, Joel Jaguar, we are at April. We are not at March 24. On March 24, that's where I'm seeing Judge Fennerty, what am I call Honorable Kevin J. Fennerty. That is in March. We have to be specific. Now, again, Joel Jaguar, if you're going to talk about that was Judge Fennerty, we have to go back to March, Jaguar. So if you have the document in front of you, you look, so you match up the date correctly, so we avoid the confusion. You understand? The document can't, I said James N. Sullivan and you now I tell me say a Fennerty. And when me I talk about March with Fennerty, you obviously get the clarity, my brother. So look and express it again to me. Because April different from March. A lot of quote you're going on, because I'm going on so much. Listen, me confused. Me not remember some of the judges. I went, it was
That's
like roller coaster.
yeah, my king. It's like picking a special needle from a whole bunch of needles, my king.
However, you are the one with the experience. You are going through it. This is why I'm say, focus. You have too much things that go on, warrior. Focus. It's important. And yes, so everything there. Because them already lining up, you know. And if we never do certain things and put in place, you wouldn't be here now. Them still have you in them crosshairs. They're not giving up, warrior. You have to focus. Now, if we're going to talk about this guy, Fennerty, we have to go back to March 24, 2025. Now, in March 24, this is the first time I see his name mentioned. Them say event resulted. This is March 24, 2025. Arraignment schedule and it's held, has been held, personal recognizance release. What is that about, Joel Jaguar? Do you have any documentation to verify or validate this date? Look on your document for 3/24/2025. Then they can explain to me, say, a Farrell finality. That's what we're doing. We're going to talk to me.
Give me a second, let me king. Let me see if me have anything in regards to that.
Salute, Ray. Honor my warrior. Honor my warrior. Warriors out there. Salute. You see, we have to work with the information what these people have. This is why when you see them said, on the island here, me not get nothing at all. On the island here, them just a beer hide and seek. That's why I'm say our court clerk in a Spanish town. We are dealing with the traffic court and whatever else. That guy when named D. Kelly. Me gonna say film demise because I saw it always though. Usually them just like Donald P. Hart, film whirl in a chaos. Me can hope for the best for him because I see where Donald P. Hart reach a point where, him can't help it, him have to follow procedure because him under pressure. Me can admit that, but it not excuse Donald P. Hart judgment where him have to experience. And the same thing with all of these court clerk where I underwrite the birth certificate bond because that's all them can interact with. Them not teach with these things in a school. Most guru were smart enough and do a lot of things. Listen, me can't afford on so I work with on. And when on not expressing yourself like under the gauntlet, like me and my people, then phone thing can't apply. Because for one, there is no guru on the mainland where can face deportation. And una look upon a man where is outside of the man-made citizenry and is being persecuted by way of their foreign inquisition unlawfully. Why? Because the Constitution secure the subject slave citizens and it's also secure all other man and woman within those specific jurisdictions. Them thing your law. You ready for me, Jaguar?
Yes, I.
Go ahead.
Okay, my king. So, according to the documents I have here, I was issued a summons on the 21st of the 2nd, 2025, which we would have a date in court, the 24th of the 3rd, 2025.
All right, hold it right there. Now, when I look at the docket number, I think I should have bring it up and have it public out there. The docket number says complaint issued with a summons. Now, you have a summons where say 2021, 25. So that would correlate. That would match up, right?
Yes.
Do you also have a statement of fact that was filed?
No, sir. I only have the summons to appear.
Okay. So on the 27th, them say criminal summons return to court, deliver a copy personally to defendant. Now, from that February summons, you'd have to go to court March 24th, 2025, right?
Yes.
And now this is what I'm going to talk about. The document says event resulted, arraignment schedule has been held, personal recognizance release, Kevin J. Finnerty. Tell me about that here.
Yes, sir. So this is what I'm saying. It was on that day when I had expressed myself in terms of invoke their oath, secure my rights, and made the order for the dismissal of the unlawful proceedings and walked out, my king. This is what I'm saying. But what happened is on the summons have Honorable James Sullivan would be the would
The
be the
judge,
judge for that day.
and Sullivan wasn't there. It was Finnerty.
It's Finnerty, but why I had believed that it was Sullivan was because when I got there, he was already on his bench.
When you got there, who?
Finnerty, Kevin, the
Okay,
judge
now,
was already on the bench. So I had missed the introduction in terms of the name.
now what I'm trying to say to you, warrior, as a man, you see, for me, I'm going to the court, see, and them are going to talk to me, and them ask me my name, and, I go through that. Then me want to know who that judge is. You know what I mean? For the record, may I have your name? You understand? You have those rights, my lord. This is what I've been trying to tell you, and this is why you see me that you try really light a fire within you for your exercise your God-given rights. This is why now we can go in our court with our audio recording because the law can't, these guys can't stop you. Because them have recording and record you. You understand? You have to assert where you can't back down, you can't hide. Now, when you go into the court and you invoke on these people do them own thing, that's one aspect. This is what for them documents say now, Jaguar. That's very same day, them say arraignment before the court, them say them advise your rights to your counsel. Kevin Finnerty and him talk where him say you have a right to counsel, which would them would say them Miranda rights, all of these things. Them not tell you that.
No, sir. None of that had happened.
All right. On the very same day, this guy Kevin J. Finnerty, acting as judge, him said him warn you about your pursuant to your alien status. Because remember, you express yourself as non-citizen, meaning you're not a slave to none of them things. Did at any time did this guy talk to you and warn you about anything like that?
No, sir.
All right. Now, when them ask you how do you plead, did you make any plea? Because you already say you walk out of the court. So
No,
did
sir, I didn't make a plea
all right.
whatsoever.
Now, this is why their document, it not say you make a plea. It's a plea of not guilty entered, meaning Finnerty entered a not guilty plea on your behalf. By him enter a not guilty plea on your behalf, this is how them move the case along. You understand? Because them say, yeah, contest when you have no interest to participate. You understand? You already expressed the fact that you have the right as a party to whatever it is, the right of autonomy, where you invoke them oath, which is their obligation, and you reserve explicitly your fundamental rights on record. This is why then they have to enter a not guilty plea, because these people did already have you wrapped up, what them call railroad, and to ship you off the island. You get too much trouble out there. That's what I must say. Because they are familiar with the good slaves, put it that way, or the passive slave, the docile slave. So this is the guy where you have face. So you have to be specific, my warrior. You can't say it was Sullivan. Sullivan, them issue the bond, because them a work them criminal thing. Them a work them generalship thing by way of Donald P. Hart. But if you
King,
notice, yes, sir.
King, sorry for cut you. Remember, prior to this day, we were just having magisterial hearing with Donald P. Hart. There was no judge. So
Stop right there again, my brother. When you said prior to this day, I think you said prior to the 3rd, prior to February 24, 2025, right?
yes, prior to the summons, yes.
All right. This is what I'm going to try to tell you again. You can't say there was no judge. You understand? Because I'm going to show you where Donald P. Hart was supposed to be he's a clerk magistrate, so him can operate as judge too. You understand? So when you go in front of clerk magistrate, that was what them are called discussion. A dispute has been arise. You understand? But them now going to tell you who are the initiator of the dispute, which is Farrell Duce, Nantucket Police Department, on behalf of the Commonwealth. Them are the initiator of the dispute, so that make them in dishonor. You understand? And pay attention. Them want trial, but you don't say Kevin Duce. I say you're a criminal because they can't break down you being a criminal. This is why the docket number says AC, not CR. AC, Associated Civil Court. Really, are the money them really after, but them have to convict you criminally by way of deception. So before, again, when you say Ian Donald P. Hart, you notice, that's because them use the citation as the initiating instrument. From the citation, them must say criminality go on. You probably unalive quite a few people driving recklessly. So Farrell Duce now tell them say she are the criminal. She tell them say boy, you commit one whole heap of crime out there on the road. Donald P. Hart, who is the accomplice, listen to what she said. So him issue a notice to you, magisterial notice, where him carry in them very same court and him a discuss whatever. From that, I think a 2 magisterial notice you probably can provide. And then you get a summons from that guy, Sullivan, James M. Sullivan. But when he went to court on that summons, it wasn't James M. Sullivan was the judge. It was this guy, Kevin J. Finnerty. And Kevin J. Finnerty, I tell lies, say, him advise you, him read your Miranda rights, say you have right to counsel, you have right not to speak. That's when basically I say, lie my lie, because you don't know about that. Him also tell lies, say, him warn you about your alien status, lie my tell. And then him himself entered a non-guilty plea when him for dismiss the case with prejudice, because them not have none. But this is their standard operating procedure in the public slavery arena. Now, the very same sodomite judge, Finnerty, he must have bail revocation warning. So them they put you on bail, when give you some warning for bail, because I must state it on document right here. This guy, because I'm tell you, say I'm a specialist. Him look like one of them Jewish kind of cross-dressing, transvestite sissy. You don't know if he is really a man or a woman. These kind of people are the evilest people on the earth, but them looks like how you see them look. And when you research them have all kind of titles and millions to them name. These are the kind of sodomite, the billionaire mobster them use to secure them interests. But you don't know this guy. You think this guy is James N. Sullivan. This is why I say you have to focus, warrior. You understand? Be a lie that pussy I tell upon you and put you upon release and personal recognizance, and you don't know nothing about it. All right, are going behind the scenes. Now, I think we're done with March. Now we're up to April now, brethren. This is when James Sullivan in the court, and this is when they must say defendant default. This is April 22. So they change the judge, and him a work with a default, so you never appear. When you did appear in front of this sodomite, this cross-dressing sissy Finnerty, that's what I call him now. I don't know him is what, if him is Hindu, or if him probably crossbreed. Yeah, you know, with all of them mixed together. Me I tell you, say I'm a specialist, he know what I do. Him step in with one big lie, and then this next judge where a conspiracy, because they must look on the information and say, what, Joel Jaguar do all of this? No, Joel Jaguar never do none of that. Anyway, listen to it now, my lord. Listen to it again. It's the very same, the next day, April 23, 2025. Because remember them say default 2022, you know. So 2023, April, Them must have a next hearing again. Them said default, removal, hearing. And listen, it has been held. Listen again. Default, removal, and them have CR, that is criminal. Listen. Donald P. Hart, presiding. This is in April. So when you talk about this, a judge and is not a judge, and don't underestimate what go on. Just focus. Now, we're going done with March because them not have no more personal recognizance release on you because it was removed when the 4th, which is February, April 23, 2025. Forgive me with the back and forth because I don't want just to call 4/23/25. April 23, 25. So you know, Donald P. Hart removed this. We are going to March now, which is the 19th of March. Them said event resulted. Pre-trial hearing scheduled on this date for March 19th at 9 a.m. has been rescheduled of hearing for the following reason. Why? An order of the court by whom is a whole different new sodomite this now. Scott D. Peterson presiding. So you see how much people you face. You face Donald P. Hart as the clerk magistrate, then him appoint the specialist, Fenerty, will come tell dear lie and right, dear fuckery, just to fuck you up, and it couldn't work. And then them come back with Donald P. Hart in a criminal again, and then you go back in again, partial hearing, and this sodomite, Scott D. Peterson. This is the game where you say I play, but you don't know it without this information. And this information is public information. This is the one where them I use to tear you apart. You know, say nothing where you place on the court. Nothing at all. You understand? That is intentional. If you never have this office or advocate for you, warrior, believe it or not, something different to go on. Now, from March, we'll come up to January, February, March, April, May, in a May 19th, them say reschedule. Now we're going at June to June 30. Again, pre-trial. Again, reschedule of hearing, order to the court. Now, not Scott Peterson this time. It's James Sullivan again. This is a game. So them reorder because them can't get no conviction. Them can't get no consent. So this is a game. Now, when you go back to court in July, after June, again, pre-trial held, James Sullivan, and them said, them I put you off again for, what was this now? April, May, June, July, August. Let me see if them have the case. Somewhere in August. So the very same case was start last year in November. This is the very same nonsense. Some have you as criminal, but them really are deal with associated civil process. That means I really money them want, but them have to trick you. Them have to deceive you. And when the clarity is not there, them are going to get you. And this is the reason why we're going to, you know, we're going to place a notice on demand of removal, and you're going to the same little superior court area. That's where you're going to work from, because that's where the Constitution secure your fundamental rights and freedom by way of the Bill of Rights contract with them about that. And you know, this is our clarity. And we have to take it step by step. So Joel Jaguar, literally out there. We are show the eyes this is the game, but without the clarity, yeah, them are gonna beat with. And if me they are some, I don't know certain things, or I may have to get the things then after, or you know. Yeah, I mean actually in the court for take silent judicial notice to know when them are try make your business offer and how you can just be easy and you know, because them always provide a escape. You know. Them no want to look back, them no want this thing public, you know. So them are gonna always provide an escape. But if if you don't realize that's what I go on, it's gonna stay in the adversarial setting there, where it's just back and forth, nobody not get no room to negotiate properly. So basically, that are the information, my lord. Where you want chant on, or if you want to get back to from March when you're going to the court, I think you're going to the court again and them arrest you and you'd have to come out for a notice of recognizance. And this is when you revoke and terminate that agreement. When was that? That was in March, right? Warrior, you have to unmute your thing, Warrior.
Well, on the making. Yeah, April, May. May 16 was when I placed the notice of cancellation and termination of personal recognizance release filed upon the court.
All right. When you said May 16, you do that, now ask, which day you get arrested? I remember you don't tell me, say them arrest you, and you have to, I tell them, say you want to go straight to court. I think Donald P. Hart or somebody else. But this
Yeah,
was the,
it was April 23rd.
okay,
April 23rd, 25.
that's the clarity we need. That's the clarity we need. If April 23rd, so the default is one thing, default removal hearing. But me still not see the origin of the personal recognizance from in a March. Or the part that, and if them will lock you up and give personal recognizance in a 2023, and this is why you'd have to put the notice of termination of that agreement, because everything is agreement. And this is when it place it in the code. All right. Now we can look at that. Now from this on now, you're going to the court in a March 19, because you have the file, the date stamp, say you place the termination from the 16th. And then again, they would have to cancel and reschedule the court for the 30th of June. And when you go
Yes.
for the 30th of June, you say James Sullivan and him again order the court for reschedule a hearing again. So this is them game and them process. We don't want to go through it no more, so we have to go change the court venue, which is only natural. And again, you always are telling me, say, when you see that because of prepare a court area, talk about that. And that's where you fair work from, but you don't really know. And nobody not gonna really tell you. And that's where the police lady in the police interview with the theft of your property and the eviction situation. That's where she really has said, go down in the civil area, car. The civil and the criminal are two different things. But if you choose a can champ, my lord, I'm gonna wrap it up there now,
Yeah, it's basically where the Superior Court office is. You would have to definitely go right in front of the door to actually see that it's the office, because where the sign is right behind a, it's a rafter. It's a rafter. Rafter is like those support beams that run on the top of the building or on the ceiling if you're looking up. So a rafter block out the sign itself. So only where you will see that a Superior Court office is there is literally being in front the office itself. So it was on that day when someone had sat in a chair where I normally sit. And just by that happening, I decided to walk all the way down to the end of the lobby of the court. And this was how I pounced upon the office. So literally, unless you are being pointed there, there's no way you'll find it.
Oh, well, that's the area where you got to start work from and work with and work through, because that's the constitutional area. Understand the next area where the bar association member do them slave business and them thing you had the clarity. So as we go along, we just take the time and do what we need to do, and we just go through the motion, because the advocacy of freedom is not none of these civil nonsense where you talk about right to travel and all of those things. When you're a free man, these things are natural. You understand? But if you look for some politician or some bar association council for get some legal privileges, then that's something separate and distinct from what we are dealing with. This is why I say we have to focus. And when we are dealing with freedom, nothing else, can be more important than that. That are the principal thing, the freedom. You understand? And expressing that. Yeah, man. And that's the focus after that. Anything else and everything else are going to be irrelevant if you don't have your freedom. So, yeah, man, I just step by step out there. And for all of the ones them out there where, especially my warriors them out there and warriors them out there where, I choose to stand up free, irrespective of them so-called presumed capacity. Yeah, them have to understand, say, is a separate and distinct advocacy than anything else we're out there, really. Yeah, man. And from this office, true, we are authentic. I give you credibility, I give you standing. However, is a de jure standing, lawful standing, not a de facto standing, meaning legal standing. So the legality have to subject itself to this office, naturally. This is why you see the system out there terrified of anything what he, you know, prescribe or scribe or write and put out there. You understand? And therefore start assert I-self. In other words, impose I-self as the council where I create these documents. Therefore do them thing there. You understand? Because I can. And I can always testify because I'm competent too. Yeah, man. But that too take a lot of responsibility. You want ones can express them competence and demonstrate the fact that they have established their house and then can secure them thing in a basic situation such as these. These are the basic, it's not really complex. The complexity, they're not the financial part of it. But at the part that where them control and no one you get access to. That's where your inheritance is, did I say, tied up, is bound up. But Babylon want access. So them place themselves as beneficiary and then persecute you the moment you discover you're truly free and you're not a legal entity. They'll persecute you. Yeah, man. However, the persecution is just like gatekeeping. You have to develop and, acquire whatever it takes to remove yourself from those persecution and navigate yourself accordingly to your freedom. Right? It's your freedom and not mine, it's yours. But you are the example for many others. That's why the focus of intent and so necessary. You understand? And it's not different from I the very same thing apply to I. God, them have me in them slave area and I just fuck them up in lesser. But them still want me have to come down in them superior court area to come fuck up down there too. Me have to go eventually go down there, irrespective of what it is. How me I go down there? I'm a paperwork have to go ahead of me. So I not prescribe nothing or say nothing where not apply to I or what me not do. Or the difference that I now tell one to do things where me not do for myself. And when somebody I do it for you is one aspect of it. But when you acquire the knowledge to do it for yourself, that's everything. And when I day when me I try so not to do it for you, me have to do it in a way where me I teach you how to become where you are doing for yourself. It's all about you. It has always been about you. Yeah, man. So it's a step-by-step process and it's an absolute victory from my perspective. Absolute victory. Yeah, man. But I'm glad when we get this chance to express the public slavery that go unbeknownst to most people. And watch it now. Warriors, I warriors, just know say Babylon really know me, know about this office and place, I under severe scrutiny to the point where, yeah, you're gonna find censorship, but it now go overt, it gonna be more covert. I remember, our thing of freedom. None of the other thing them like get the parasitic host, parasitic foreign invaders any kind of attachment to us as hosts. Our information remove them presume authority when them are function in them color of law or under them color of authority, meaning it's contrary to the constitutional common law where the proper law of contract is supreme. Them thing you have the clarity about it takes time for one's attain it. And again, not like when you have the knowledge for yourself, because you can't attain it. The moment you get it around me, everything what me know, literally I download within the one second. Literally. I just the island now don't really discover it yet. That's why I may have said clarity, specificity. That's how you have to work. Don't work with the generality. Always be specific. Who are you? I am a Wak Indian. What is that? That's when you express it. Without even want to say we are American. Nothing at all anymore. Really. Let them discover what it is. Yeah, man. So step by step, the brave may fall but never yield. And we said bold and brave out there. Firm and strong. Dwell. Dwell.
Yeah,
Chant
me
out,
too.
chant out there and use specificity. If you're going to talk about the case, you talk about the date and the activity of that date. That's how you have to express it. Because you're going a lot of key courts, you know what I mean? And you experience a lot of situations. So irrespective of where you're there, when you express yourself, be specific. Don't say, you know, that day they went there, no, on such and such a date, this is what happened. Yeah, man, because this is a Babylon right. Yeah, that boy when you in front of you, a real, especially a boy, a criminal boy. That naturally. And I guarantee if you see all them boy, I wouldn't be surprised if him is one of them well-dressed boys that way sit down at the court and you don't even know him. Because I tell you, you need to focus
Right.
on these people. You have to focus, just look on one and think of the same. It's like when the man I tell you, say, when the boy a thief for care, the gangster boy a thief for care, he might tell you, say the boss name, Skell, and you just take it and send him some deal. And me I say, hey, don't operate that way, brethren. If you want to give it to me that way and me have to create the document and me have the wrong information, what you think happen, my lord? Remember me have to work with what you are telling me. So if you off point, then everything we ever do I going to be off point. This is why I say Then nobody want to take your word for it. Get the documentation and you can scrutinize it from the side. You understand? Hence, you have to go look for them for the docket and find the docket and see what I want and see how them want to lock you up for 100 days. Look like that boy, Kevin M. Bates, did a plan to beat the fuck out of you when him lock you up and string you up for 100 days. And these are the things where you're facing a warrior on the island there, you don't know him. You go through like it's you know? No man. No man. You have to realize your judgment them will bring, so you have to bring judgment and love. And your judgment is true. So you have to extricate yourself from that court area. Remember you're suffering along Nantucket Island. You're the most authentic, the most potent, the most powerful one on that island. Just because of your non-slave capacity. Just because of your non-citizen capacity. And laws that ever govern their citizens and govern other people who are non-citizens within those fictional jurisdictional areas. Laws that ever do that. Or we just have to invoke and apply those. So you see, when you invoke and apply those securing laws, and you see them ignore, you know you're in the wrong place. You have to get away from there and light a fire in another location there. Raise it, decimate it, permanently. Yeah, man. But this is all figuratively. Yeah, man. But them energy the warrior. Anyway, I hit that for me in a Jaguar. We're gonna just sketch up and chop it up again, but that's the whole idea. And later we can talk again for other things. But again, you don't know, I just step by step, you know?
Yes, I salute the king. Me actually came across 28 USC section 14 part 2. At that at that little information now me I look on me king. Cause it just strike me.
What it a deal with, what it a say?
Well, it basically I deal with federal officers or agencies sued or prosecuted. I think what it is dealing with so far from my comprehension, it really deal with like unfair or unlawful actions. Well, according to their things, color, because you know how them state their thing, color of law and such. So they're saying once they're acting, any agency acting in any form of color under that office, it not only give the defendant the right to sue, but the defendant the right to do that, to make action to remove case from state to federal.
All right, all right. Now, you say why we not exclude Farrell Duce, because Farrell Duce are the initiating woman was
Yes,
started.
I.
And she have other conspirators. Even Donald P. Hart will retire. His name is there, you see that? So
Yes,
you can't
I.
we all when him retire. You know? So all of these people are conspirators. Them know them a break the law. But them must say you are alien, you come from Mars. That's what they must say. So them are totally dismiss the laws that apply to even alien. We come from Mars, because that's what the law say. You know? Fundamental rights, what them have out there, what them are called civil liberties. Secure these ones, not just citizens, but the citizens have their own obligation to their citizenry. You are under no such obligation. This is the clarity. You are that living soul manifest as man. You claim West Indian because you originate here in the West Indies. And when we say West Indies, we are talking the Western Hemispheric region of the earth. That means that anywhere on this side, north or south, meaning the divide where the equator is, we govern that area. You understand? We govern that corner, yeah. Foreign man invade, so them are impose for them colonization, and we are rebut it, we are refute it, we are rebuke it. And this is our clarity. Pay attention, Jaguar. You ever say a judge will look like you, or even in that dark shade as you upon that court?
No, sir. In fact, I've been looking at some of the past images of the judges, and I've yet to see a dark skinned one.
Well, this is why I tell us that place where you there is a unique location. That's a proper slave colony. It's like a country club. You know, go upon them location there within those jurisdictions. The moment you can go there and rent an apartment independently, the moment you can have an option to own your home autonomously, then a slavery are going there. So. Them place and a place where you live and a talk about your family. Them place a place where you go and you work 2, 3, 4 jobs. If 24 hours is in the day, you make sure you be working 26 hours a day out there. And when you get your day off, you get off island and you relax, you sleep for about 2 or 3 days, and then you just gone back out to work. And within a year or two, you build a lovely house in Jamaica, or you buy a lovely plantation over there in Texas or California or Arizona or anywhere. But you just focus on work, and that's what that place is about. But people kind of get caught up on start do other things. And then them want, create them own independent state within a slave colony. That don't work. Them guys are going to fight you. But there's only two of me there who are going to create that independent state within that slave colony. What is the independent state? It's your sovereignty. It's you. You are that independent state, that autonomous state of being. And that can only apply to you when you're sovereign. Them clarity are the mainlanders then not have. The mainlanders cannot claim to be sovereign because there is a sovereign where enslave them. And it's documented out here. Now, Jamaica, our people would have said are enslaved we, them they run at Britain. But them talk brawling, so watch out. We can't enslave them ones that way. We would just try to regulate the rules when we got imposed. That's all them are trying to do, the laws. The enslavement that come from the financial system. It come from the birth certificate. And the birth certificate does not originate in England. It now comes from England. Yeah, the true culprit behind the birth certificate are the Vatican. All banks originated from the Vatican. And Vatican want to hide themselves so then give these energies or you know say and regulate the banking system to a different group where them control, them the authority and life to. And the banking system, like the Rothschild group, those cabal, them will take the blame, while the true culprit, which is the demonic Catholic system, them are the true culprit. Them stay hidden. Them stay hidden. So the true hidden hands are these kind of institutions where have a demonic presence. But they are not going to know these things. God, I'm not going to express it so everybody can see. No worry, just know so the battle is good against evil. Yeah, it's either you're a sovereign, meaning you're free, or you're a citizen, meaning you're enslaved. And that are the distinction, that are the clarity. And we are express it openly. Yeah, man. So it's just a step by step thing. And all we can do is just, yeah, just keep on and try to the victorious end. I shall be victorious. Really. Absolute victory. Anyway, salute Joel Jaguar. Salute, my lord.
Honor me king, teach respect and power.
Salute out the free people. Honor me, king. Honor ones and ones out there. Raid. Hold them, my lord. We're going to fire you up in a day. Salute.